All right, we are working on this 24 by 30 acrylic on hardboard portrait of 30 people again. And today I want to add some initial skin tones. We're going to block in the skin tones. Let's have some fun here with the acrylic glazing technique. So I already prayed here previously before I started this video, because I've been doing a little bit of work on this. Let's dive right in here and let's take some burnt sienna and we're going to mix it with a little bit of matte medium. That is a really good color to use to start off skin tones when you're, especially when you're doing people at a distance and you're not having to create nuances between pinkish tints and more cool tints in the face. So burnt sienna will get us started off in the right direction for pretty much everything. But we mix it with matte medium and make it pretty faint, pretty clear. Again, this is clear acrylic without pigment, and we mix it into the paint. A small amount of paint, a lot of matte medium, and that's how we create these translucent effects. And we also keep the integrity of the sketch. We keep the detail of the sketch so you don't have to worry about losing the likeness of the people you're painting. But we're just going to go ahead and apply this glaze over the people. And we're just starting to establish a little bit of skin tone. I might leave off in a couple of areas where there's some highlights, but in general I just want to begin to establish these tints. So I might make a little bit of differentiation because some of the people are more pale. So where I see, for example, there's like a strong highlight on the forehead, which is generally the case for an outside photo, I'm going to leave off there and I'm not going to add the glaze in those parts. I will add it though on these other areas like their legs and all of that. Let's zoom in a little bit. You can see more of what's happening as I add a glaze to this woman's face, this woman's face in the back, this young man's face. To the baby, I'm just going to actually leave off on the top because that's so strongly illuminated with a lighter color. So I'm trying to make just a little bit of a differentiation here between some of these tonal values as well as getting the color in. And when you're doing skin tones, the value is more important than the color. The value is that sense of light and dark. If you were to take this image and make it black and white, it would be that scale from black to white and all the shades of gray in between. That information is way more important than the color. So skin tone recipes, all of that, not so important. But getting the value correct, that is important. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to realisticacrylic.com and I have some printable guides there to help you get better values in your portrait. You can actually print these guides out, have them next to you in your painting, and it's a great way to reference the things I'm talking about in this video. So go ahead to realisticacrylic.com and grab yourself a couple of free guides. I've got one guide called Roadmap to Shading Right, and that talks about using correct values. I've got another guide called the Value Checker tool to make sure your values are accurate. It's kind of like a ruler, only it's like for painting, or it's like using a calculator for doing a math problem. It just double checks what you're doing. It's a free tool. You can print it out. But go ahead, check that out at realisticacrylic.com, and I'll have that link as well in the top comments in this video. Well, I'm just adding more layers here. So I'm just taking this light glaze. It's just, boy, if I could just show this to you here. Really light glaze. Let me get this white piece of paper. You can see what it looks like on this white piece of paper. Very faint, and that's what we're applying over the skin, over the people's faces for an initial skin tone. But again, there's not really a recipe you can use at all for skin tones. Every portrait is different. Every lighting scenario is different. So it's good just to start with one basic color and build from there. In this case, burnt sienna is a really good color to start with, but it does depend on your portrait. If you're doing a larger portrait where you have a large face, you might start with like a raw umber, or in my case I use raw umber dark. You could also use kind of more of a cad red light, or in my case I use pyro orange. But for most applications, burnt sienna does work very well to start things off. And I also find that raw sienna works well too. You know, raw sienna with burnt sienna. Burnt sienna will do some of the midtones and darker midtones getting into the shadows, and raw sienna will start getting into the midtones into more of the highlights. So again, we're just blocking in some of these different tones. All right, so we're going to block in just a little bit of color for this woman's legs and this girl's legs and the man's legs. Some people are wearing pants, some are wearing shorts, so obviously we're not going to put this color on everybody. Okay, this young man here, he's got shorts on. I know this young man, actually. I know this guy. He's a really nice guy, and he wears shorts year-round. Not to pick on him, I just think it's funny. And he wears shorts even in the middle of winter in Wisconsin, where it can get to 20 below zero. This guy always is wearing shorts. He's a real nice guy. He actually helped me with my computer. He built a computer for me, and that enabled me to do this business, to teach classes online. So I really owe him a lot. Well, I think we have pretty much everything covered. Oh, I missed that little girl on the right-hand side right here. This little girl. Want to make sure we have her face with a little bit, just hit it with a little bit of a glaze on the bottom. Again, we're just starting the process. Put a little bit on the underside of that woman's arm. Starting the process there. Yeah, and I think that's good. So that's how we started off here, just adding a faint touch of the skin tones. It's so light you can probably barely see it, but that's kind of how you want it to look with the glazing technique. All right, so we're very much in the early stages of this painting. But again, I want to say thank you for watching this video. Hang with me here. I'm going to be posting more videos in process on this portrait. One of the most detailed paintings I've ever done. I've never done a painting with 30 people in it that I can recall. Well, there was a mural I did, but not a family portrait with 30 people in it. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel to get notified of more videos like this that can help you in your acrylic portrait painting. And again, visit my website, realisticacrylic.com, to get some printable guides, tutorials, and free classes to help you in your portrait painting. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.